Alright, it's time for some ramen, and I was going to show you guys how I do it. I'm going to take you through the whole process of cooking and what exactly makes my ramen a little healthier. So there's two things about this ramen that I like. Number one, a half-boiled egg in there for the protein. And then secondly is the veggies. If you have a hard time getting your kids to eat vegetables in a ramen, it's really easy. And not just any vegetable, cabbage. So what I do is I thinly slice cabbage, almost to the same thickness, maybe a little thicker than the actual ramen noodle itself, but I will be pre-boiling this in the same pot as I boil the noodles, so it makes it really easy. I'm using the Momo-san ramen. Morimoto is a famous chef in Japan and in America. He was on Iron Chef. This is the best ramen. You can get this at any Asian grocery store. Well, actually, no, a Japanese grocery store. But any ramen is going to work for this, obviously, because the star really isn't even the ramen. It's the fact that I'm doing cabbage and half-boiled egg, which this is super easy. All you're going to do is have your water boiling. You're going to get eggs. These are room temperature, okay? So it takes 5 minutes to boil these and then put it right into ice bath. If you're using slightly cold eggs or ones out of the fridge, you're gonna have to time it and determine for yourself how long it takes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. And then I've got a pot of water here for the noodles, but first I'll turn this up and put the cabbage in there. We're gonna do this right now. Everyone loves ramen. This is a great way to make ramen even better. First thing I like to do is just get the eggs out of the way. I've got a pot of boiling water, and I'm gonna put the eggs into this slotted spoon. There you go, I'll put it right in. Got one more. You can get this at any Asian market right here. All right, gonna set the timer for 5 minutes. Boom. And then right when that is done, you're gonna make sure to put it right into a ice bath. I've got this ice bath already. Of course, ice, cold water, and this is super easy. One thing I do like to do here, stir it once or twice so it doesn't sit stagnant. With this brand, you actually put the seasoning into a whole nother container, not into the pot. Now you can do this with any ramen. I like it because then it separates the broth from the ramen, and then it gives you a chance not to overcook the ramen and then let the broth cool down for the kiddos. Do these ones. I'll do the oil packets, okay? We're just gonna put all the seasoning inside of this container. This is where we're gonna put both the cabbage as well as the broth. Just put all of it in there.
Oh, it smells good.
Yeah, it is good. This is the tonkatsu. This is the pork flavor. Eggs are just about done.
Can I do it now?
All right.
Can I do it now?
Go ahead. So Kira is gonna take it out. In fact, normally you could turn off the heat. Don't do all of them. Just do 2 or 3 of them. You're gonna put it right into the ice bath. Very good job. The other 2.
Is that all of them?
Yep. The ice bath is going to shock it to stop the cooking process, and what I like to do is kind of mix it around like this, and then supposedly it makes it easier to peel. There you go. We're just gonna let that sit off to the side for a few minutes. Really important here that you don't let it sit in here too long, because you don't want to let the eggs get cool. So I'm gonna let it sit in there for about 3 minutes and then put it off to the side. We're gonna cook the cabbage.
All of it?
No, well, probably like 2/3 of it. Go ahead, I'll tell you when to stop. So the cabbage is gonna take about 2 minutes to cook. Maybe 3 minutes. Go ahead, do one more handful. Go ahead and get that slotted spoon over there. So what I like to do is cook this for a good 3 to 4 minutes, just to soften up before we cook the ramen. So I'm using the same water that I'm gonna be cooking the ramen in, but I put a little extra water than what the package tells you, because it's gonna evaporate while this is cooking. I'm just covering it to retain as much of the moisture as possible and help cook that cabbage faster.
These are ready?
Those are ready. So go ahead and swirl it around like this. There you go.
Do I use my hands
Yeah, just use your hand and put it out on the white plate now. There you go. So if you were to pick these up, they're cold, but in about a minute or two they would warm up because they still have the warmth that it retained. I'm just trying to shock the outside so it stops the cooking process while not actually cooling it down to a cold temperature. Now what you're gonna do is take that slotted spoon, you're gonna take the cabbage and put it into the container, this Pyrex, where all the flavor is. There you go. It's okay, just put it right in. There you go. Good job. Get it all in there. So now the cabbage is cooked, it's softened, and it'll further cook later. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Go ahead and grab the noodles now. Now it's time to cook the noodles. Roll slow, but you gotta do it quick now. Each one, because they gotta cook evenly. Get the other one in there. Okay, well, let's get it in the water. Right, there you go. Okay, cabbage is gonna just chill to the side for right now. Okay, that's good. Go ahead and put the pot cover on. Now this is supposed to cook for 3 minutes, so why don't you put on timer on? But it's already been cooking for a little bit, so we're only gonna let it cook for, I wanna say 30 to 60 seconds. Then I take the cover off. Now this part ain't rocket science, you just cook the noodles, okay? Everyone's done this. It's just a process that's a little bit different. I'm just gonna flip it. This doesn't take very long at all. 3 minutes. All ramen takes about 3 minutes to cook. The difference is normally you put the flavor packet into here. I'm gonna show you the difference with this package, and also you can do this with any ramen package and why it's a little bit better for presentation. So I'm gonna turn off the heat. This is the difference. In Japan, they don't use the same water, obviously. I'm just gonna take that water, pour it right over the cabbage and the flavor in the Pyrex. And this is gonna do two things. One, it's gonna let you continue cooking the cabbage in that flavor to further soften. And it lets you deal with the ramen noodles without them soaking in any more moisture. Kira is mixing that cabbage and flavor into the water. See, now I can take the noodles and put them into individual bowls like this. See, normally the broth and the ramen is just sitting there, soaking it all up. What I do is I put the ramen in there while the broth is just sitting over to the side. And then the littles, because I want it to be nice and cool for them, I'm gonna take their bowls, put it in the fridge for a hot second. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys how cool this
Can I do it
is.
too?
This is yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's warmer.
It's easier to crack it on the flat surface. There you go. So the egg white is all cooked through, but the center is gonna be nice and gooey and runny. The girls love this.
The tickets have been getting cheaper and cheaper.
Oh, they are?
To the Philippines. Philippine Airlines,
Squish, 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 squish. Get a nice sharp knife, but be careful. I like to cut it right down the center. It's a nice presentation. See, it gives you time to work. There you go. Soft boiled egg. You want me to do it to yours too?
No.
Okay.
I'll bite mine.
I'm gonna go ahead and start finishing this off. This is what's cool. You can also control how much cabbage you put into each bowl because it's separated.
See?
I do this so I make sure every girl gets a certain amount of cabbage. As you can see, the cabbage is pretty translucent and it mixes in nicely into the noodles. You can put the broth right in there. So it hasn't been sitting. Oh, whoever's that is got a little extra. And there you go. So the JMK's is done. These two are cooled down. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Why don't you try it for me and tell me how it tastes? There you go. Blow on it. All the way down. eating it just like a Japanese person. That's burning hot.
Not hot.
How's the flavor? All right, here's Juliana's.
Oh, so good. I love the eggs.
You're welcome.
Chopsticks.
All right, so Papa wants some, so I'm gonna make his bowl look real nice.
You have enough.
Oh, I got enough. It's not that much noodles, but I'm gonna show you why this is so nice. There we go, look at that.
Alright, do you put your chopsticks in the dishwasher?
Dad, would you like an egg on yours?
Have
Yeah.
You,
Sure.
have you, Kira?
I thought I heard. I want to take pictures. I gotta save it for my. You know, there's a certain length of time in order for you to do the. Is there a certain time that you should do it? Boil it?
Well, mine is 5 minutes
5 minutes?
because it's room temperature, the eggs.
Oh, to boil it halfway, right?
Yeah. Bella, is it good?
Wow.
How is it, Dad?
The broth is really, really good. In place,
I
but-
just...
Kira, you did a good job. Thank you very much. One of these days, you're gonna be doing it all on your own. Me and Judy's turn to eat. Everyone finished their ramen. This is a final look. I do have my favorite red chili oil, the Momofuku. So good. Judy likes the Japanese brand. Cabbage, very good for you. Lots of health benefits. Eggs, probably one of the best proteins you can put in your body.